A sudden explosion woke the man up. His city seemed to be under attack. He rushed to the window to see what was happening and saw a huge mushroom cloud rising in the distance. Soon after, he started receiving reports about the incident, but the official response was even more shocking. This disaster was not caused by humans. Earth was attacked by some unknown creatures who had no choice but to evacuate the cities immediately. By now, the outside world had completely turned into an apocalyptic wasteland. The man was speechless at what he saw. Countless high-rise buildings had been destroyed, and the city was reduced to ruins. And the root cause of all this was actually a particle collision experiment humans had carried out in space. At the same time, something strange was happening on the space station. While repairing the cabin, the mechanic suddenly discovered a problem with the walls. The next second, his arm was sucked right into it. No matter how hard he struggled, he couldn't break free. His arm seemed to have fused with the wall. This was clearly beyond human understanding. His teammates rushed over and tried to help. After a difficult struggle, they finally pulled the man's arm back out. But before he could even breathe a sigh of relief, something even more ridiculous happened. His arm vanished into thin air. Yet the mechanic didn't feel any pain. Not a single drop of blood came from the wound. Meanwhile, the crew soon noticed something was wrong. An arm was crawling through the cabin on its own. Did they really tear open a parallel universe? The scientists guessed that the particle collision may have caused two spaces to overlap. Now, two different spaces were fighting over the same object. To figure out the truth, they placed the arm inside a container. Strangely, the arm seemed to have a mind of its own. It kept gesturing at everyone, as if it was trying to leave them a clue. When they handed it a pen, the arm miraculously wrote one sentence: "Cut open Bob's stomach." Since Bob was already dead, the group barely hesitated. Following the arm's instructions, they cut open his abdomen. To their shock, the missing gyroscope was hidden inside Bob's body. With the help of the gyroscope, the spacecraft's positioning system instantly returned to normal. It turned out Earth hadn't really disappeared. Instead, their ship had appeared on the other side of the sun. That was why they couldn't see Earth. After Jenny readjusted the communication equipment, the space station finally received a message from Earth. But the broadcast shocked everyone all over again. World War III was breaking out on Earth. And in this parallel universe, their space station had already crashed 2 weeks ago. All 6 astronauts on board had died. Only then did the scientists finally realize that they had crossed into another world. The woman who suddenly appeared on the space station was none other than Lisa, an astronaut from Earth. Because their collision experiment had succeeded, Lisa had been brought here. To return to their original world, they had to restart the particle accelerator. But the previous accident had already left the ship badly damaged. The particle accelerator also failed to operate properly. To repair the equipment, the engineer volunteered to go outside the cabin for maintenance. But then another accident happened. After the hatch was closed, the ship's cooling system suddenly malfunctioned, and a massive amount of water began to leak. Soon, the entire cabin was flooded. Under the enormous water pressure, the spacecraft eventually broke apart. The engineer was instantly frozen by the extreme cold and died on the spot. At the same time, the mechanic responsible for repairing the wall also ran into an accident.